right? Let's talk about the Batman. Because like, I don't know what's going on with this, you guys. I honest to God, at this point in time, like I'm looking to official sources as much as humanly possible. As much as humanly possible, I'm looking to official sources here. Because it's one of those things where I don't know what they're planning on doing. And I don't think anyone really knows what they're planning on doing because they're still 15 months away. But it does feel like there are some things in flux, or at least there's some kind of confirmation. I got no fucking idea. It's wild. So like I said, yesterday, while we were live, you had ViewerAnon, okay, who does scoop some stuff, mostly test screenings, post this cryptic image, Justice League and canon, which I will fully admit I had to have RJ explain to me because I just didn't see the connection. So great. Zack Snyder's Justice League canon. That's what everybody wants, myself included, right? That's what everybody's down for. That's what everybody fucking wants. All right. And from that, then he also posted this thing that he's since deleted, saying, remember how a few scoopers, including yours truly, said Ben Affleck was definitely 100% no takesy backsies done with the Batman after The Flash. Well, and even KC Walsh, who we're going to talk about here in a few, in an article, even he admitted taking the L. ViewerAnon basically was like taking the L. So if these two guys who were pretty adamant about it most recently are like, all right, I'll take the L on this one. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something there. I had no idea. I'm just calling it like I see it. I'm just calling it like I see it. All right. So anyway, so that happened yesterday. Like I said, this tweet got deleted and he was like, I don't want to like jump the gun. But then even today, you had Grace Randolph come out and say, basically the Flash movie will put the Snyderverse off to the side for Warner Brothers to exit. So should they choose sometime in the future. The Snyderverse is still largely removed from the DCEU, with the changes I told you, Reed Keaton, Batman, Superman, Supergirl, etc. And this has kind of been like, even I'll say like Mikey Sutton has kind of said this a little bit, right? But this is where there's a lot of conflation, where Mikey has been like, yeah, they're going to put it in a pocket universe. But the thing with that is though, is the intent there, the intent behind those scoops, the intent behind what the cult ultimately wants is to restore the Snyderverse, that it's going to be bringing everybody back. It's going to be continuing the storylines. That's what I and many other people have been saying is not going to happen for a multitude, a litany of reasons, predominantly about the budgets, about contracts, about like continuity, all this kind of stuff. However, what it kind of feels like now is that they're getting ready to gear up for something big. And it kind of also comes to us from MCU, this is where we start hearing more about about KC Walsh. So this is an article up on DC Direct, and they say Warner Brothers reportedly developing DCEU crisis event movie. Now that is the most fascinating thing here, because we remember from what was it? From DC Fandom, there was that little bit there with Jim Lee talking about Crisis, talking about Infinite Earths. The multiverse was a big thing that they talked about at the first Fandom. And they brought up Crisis on Infinite Earths through all those like collages of, comic book covers or whatever that were all meant to be one big image. And it kind of felt like that's what DC was going for. And it kind of felt that's what DC wanted to do. And I kind of believe that. I do actually believe it. I think they really wanted to go for that. So it kind of feels at this point, where what you've got is this is what's going on. So KC Walsh of Geeks WorldWide, which is funny because he's no longer of Geeks WorldWide. He actually stepped down because his scooping was interfering with them getting screeners. So it's kind of funny that he's out there talking about this today. It's really weird. Anyway, it says here, KC Walsh of Geeks WorldWide shared one of his old leaks on Twitter, hinting that Warner Brothers is planning a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie for the DC Extended Universe. Saying, so DC/Warner Brothers' plan is to build a Crisis on Infinite Earths event, if that wasn't obvious already. I think at this point with Flashpoint, we obviously know that that's what they're going for. That is not even really up for debate. What's up for debate is who the fuck is going to be in the movie? Who is going to be up in this Crisis event? How are they going to make it all work? What's going to happen? Well, Walsh did go on to talk a bit more about Ben Affleck, saying here, Batfleck is still very much done with the DCEU, but leaving the door open for him to come back during a crisis event if he wants, Makes sense, but I'll take the L. And KC is a very egotistical guy. So him saying, it was that, right, is kind of funny. So going on to say here, while Crisis is supposedly isn't part of the Flash movie, it sets up a possible Crisis event at the very end featuring Affleck's Batman. Saying here, the Flash sets up a Crisis on Infinite Earths inspired event at the end. This is the Batfleck scene that people are referencing. It sets up Crisis. So there was this kind of, because a lot of us thought he was going to die in the movie. It just makes sense. He's going to end out his character. And it's possible that has now been changed, right? A lot's going to happen. They could have, he could have originally signed on to end the character and then was like, you know what, we're just going to do this. We're just going to do this and have a good time and go from there. And then something else, popped up. Maybe they offered him something a little easier, right, than having to get all back in training and whatever. So, all right, if he wants, he can come back. At least they're leaving the door open. I'm okay with that. I have no problem with that. And I'll take the L on that too if he comes back. I have no problem taking an L on any of this stuff. I've been very open about that. Now, he goes on to say here, Walsh doesn't spoil the scene, but he did hint that it involves the Cape Crusader. Says, I'm not going to spoil it, but it involves Batman. And then he also goes on to say that the days of Zack Snyder sequels are done, although he thinks Warner Brothers will market The Flash to fans to think the opposite. Says, you're never getting direct Snyder sequels. Warner Brothers are going to make you think you all are, so you continue to buy in, like you've been doing with The Flash, and then they'll bring everybody back for a Crisis event and call it a win. That actually does sound a lot like Warner Brothers. That actually sounds a lot like Warner Brothers, because they've done this kind of crap before, right? They've done this mismarketing crap before. Sony's doing it right now with Morbius. They're really trying to use these ancillary Spider-Man adjacent films as a way to push this universe. And, they use like very kind of duplicitous marketing to get there. Rational here, thank you, buddy, says they already did a Crisis with Arrowverse, and Arrowverse is canon according to Berlanti, Hamada, Johns, unless they do a final Crisis with Darkseid. I don't know what they're going to do. I have no idea what they're going to do. I would honestly say that at this point, they don't know what they're going to do, because things have been changing. They've been changing so rapidly for years. We have literally no idea. And it's not going to be the merger. The merger ain't going to do shit. Zaslav is a penny pincher. We've talked about this. So Ronaldo here says, according to Grace, there was a scene with Michael Keaton in Aquaman 2, but it was cut. My Time to Shine Hello says it's true. Also confirmed that Zod. Well, yeah, hold on. We're going to get to that. Yeah, that was the thing I saw from H-Barts earlier too. Yeah. So let's talk about the Superman situation, because it ties into the story as well. So over on Screen Geek, a guy named Frank Palmer here says, exclusive, Sasha Calle Supergirl replacing Henry Cavill's Superman. This has been long speculated, right? This has been long speculated in regards to everything with Henry Cavill. Now, look, I know fans want him. I want him to 100%. One of the problems, though, like I've said, is the fact that when you're talking about Henry Cavill, he hasn't filmed anything since 2017. It's been 5 years since he shot anything as Superman. And he's busy with The Witcher and Argyle, Enola Holmes 2, probably in Enola Holmes 3, maybe a Mass Effect project. I don't know what else is going on. The dude, homeboy, is busy right now. But Sasha Calle has signed on for quite a bit. So according to Screen Geek, they say here, Warner Brothers has been evolving their DCEU film franchise in a variety of interesting ways over the years. For example, they've been spending a lot of time expanding characters like those in Shazam, the Suicide Squad, and the Peacemaker television series, which is true. And Suicide Squad and Peacemaker have been able to find a very popular audience. They have done very well on HBO Max, which is why I think James Gunn is going to spend more time on HBO Max in those worlds. Additionally, this is what they said. According to our sources, newly cast Supergirl actress Sasha Calle is playing the Kara Danvers version of the character and will replace Superman actor Henry Cavill as the DCEU's last survivor of Krypton. In the new rebooted timeline, the Kryptonian villain Zod kills Cavill's Superman as a baby. Right? Like kills Cavill's Superman as a baby. Listen, if Warner Brothers is going to try to market this fucking movie as like a continuation of the Snyderverse to an extent, and they go to a universe where Henry Cavill's Superman was like hucked off a freaking hill like the babies in the opening of 300, do you not think people out there are going to freak the ever-loving shit out, man? Like, that's the whole damn point. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be nuts. It's like, okay, I don't know. I've like, I'm not, I think it's such a terrible idea, but I get it, I get it for what they want to do. Now it's not currently clear what Warner Brothers has planned for these characters beyond this point, but it sounds as though Henry Cavill will no longer be involved at all with the DC film universe as Superman. As such, fans should be prepared for Sasha Calle to take on the mantle as Supergirl. The actress is set to appear in the new Flash movie, the same film that will introduce Michael Keaton as Batman. Will reintroduce him as Batman. The movie will explore the concept of alternate timelines and as a result, reboot the DC film universe. Again, that's kind of the whole point here, right? Reboot the universe. A lot of people have trouble with that term. Now, Barbara Muschietti, if I recall correctly, she had said something online that this movie will not erase the past. It will honor, like, it's going to honor the past, but it's going to move to the future. Meaning, yeah, they're going to, you know what, it's going to all go, it's going to go, you know, it's going to go crazy. They're going to move it to its own little side universe. It's going to stay over there. And probably, like, unless Affleck comes back, probably not going to be a thing. Like, Wonder Woman 3 is going to be set in whatever continuity they're in now. Aquaman 2 might be set in that continuity, right? They might just completely move away from that, because if Justice League is a continuity that they're going with, then those two movies are going to fall into there. I don't freaking know. H-Bart's here for $2, says, if anything, Danny Garcia cost Henry his role. I believe that as well, buddy. I believe that as well. I know people out there want to disagree with me 100%, but that's what I'm thinking. That's what I believe. Rational here for $2. Thank you, man. Says, Small Screen said Cavill is coming back. Well, yeah, Mikey Sutton has also said that they're coming back, right? Like, that's kind of the whole thing. Mikey said that. They've said that. You know what? And they're all friends, by the way. Like, the same guy who webmasters Small Screen, webmasters Geekosity Mag. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, there's connectivity there. And again, I'm not knocking it. I know the webmaster, he's a good guy. You know, so I'm just saying, like, I don't quite know. All right. And also there's an article here from March 17th from Small Screen I'm looking at real quick. This is Henry Cavill could return as Superman. Not that he is returning, that he could return. And that the report comes from, giant freaking robot. So there's that. Think about that for a second, right? Anthony here asks why Warner Brothers hasn't called Brandon Routh to come back to play Superman if Henry Cavill is busy. I don't know, man. I don't know. You know what it is, man? It's entirely possible that, like, Superman Returns did such a bad thing for the franchise that when they cast him as Ray Palmer, right? Adam, you know, and he did such a great job in that role, and he was very well loved as a fan favorite. I know they brought him back as Kingdom Come Superman for the Crisis, you know, stuff. And I'm sure he would in a heartbeat come back. And I think at this point, it's been 16 years since that movie came out. I have a feeling fans would very much embrace him to come back, if you want my honest opinion. All right. Like, that's the whole thing. Now, Anthony, I finally, something we agree on. I'm just glad Matt Reeves gets to have his universe separate from all this, which is very true. They did well. Rational. Well, I'm looking up on their website right now. That's the last article. That's the last article that I'm seeing up on there. You know, like about that, right? They even say in this article here, is this confirmed? No, it's not. So, you know, that's what it is, man. It's like, it's not confirmed yet. I'm sorry. Like, look, man, Edward from Small Screen is a good guy. I like Edward quite a bit. I think we've chit-chatted a number of times. I think he's a cool dude. No issue with him whatsoever. I don't think he's trying to, like, mislead or lie to people. That, of course, is like the Sill camp. That's what they're doing. They're misleading and lying to people. As I showed you guys last night, Sills, thinks Zack Snyder won 2 Oscars. It's kind of ridiculous. Anyway, Philosophical Pickle here says, I'm okay with the shitty Snyderverse being an Elseworld story, but not the main timeline. They can definitely have 2 or 3 different universes existing at the same time so they can tell diverse stories. Here's the thing with that, though. Where do you put those different universes, and how do you market them differently in order to not confuse your audience, right? Like the Super Bowl ad for DC that had the world needs heroes like Batman, Black Adam, Flash, and Shazam. They had that, which was cool, except the problem, and Aquaman, it wasn't Shazam, it was Aquaman. But the problem with that was, again, 3 of those films are part of the same overall universe. One of those movies is not. They're marketed like they are. And the audience, because of Marvel and the proliferation and popularity of Marvel, people are going to believe that they're all connected because, well, Marvel's connected. Why isn't DC connected? Because people are dumb and they don't read this shit. They don't live this shit like we do. That's kind of the whole point, right? That's kind of the whole point. Let's see here. Okay. Well, this article that you sent me here is from January 5th. All right. So, obviously at this point, if January 5th they're saying that he's in deep negotiation, and on March 4th they're running a competing article from Giant Freaking Robot saying that he could be back because this is what they're saying, all I'm saying is no, okay, hold on. This is the article that they have up from a couple of days ago. We were told a while back that Cavill and Warner Brothers were in deep Superman talks. Now, we weren't told how those talks ended up going. But if Giant Freaking Robot's report is to be taken at face value, then it would seem, though, as some sort of agreement has been reached between the 2 parties. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Again, if he pops up, it's cool, man. But if the scoopers are all coming out and they're basically saying Sasha Kale is it, I don't know. I do not know. And here's the thing with that too, guys. Here's the thing with that too. It is okay. It is okay to say that I don't know. It's one of those things. I look to see what the trades say. I look to see what the actors say. I try to read between the lines. I try to look at all the available information. That's what I try to do. But the thing is, though, it doesn't always work because things are fluid. Hollywood is fluid. Things change all the damn time. Rational here says, why won't Warner Brothers just tell us who's Superman in the DCEU? How hard is that? My theory on it is this. My theory is that they're not telling us that is who the Superman is because they want to keep us guessing, because they want to keep us engaged. And again, it's the whole point of kind of mismarketing it to you so that when the time comes, you will see people, go on in and, that's kind of the whole point. You'll see people go on in and see these movies because they're intrigued to do so. It's almost like duplicitous marketing, if I'm being honest with you. That's again kind of how I view it. So there is that on that one right there.